Anil Ambani's companies were once drowning in debt worth more than 1,07,000 crores. Not just Indian banks, even Chinese banks had given him massive loans. And when things started falling apart, Anil began blaming his elder brother Mukesh for all his failures. At one point, the situation got so bad that their mother Kokalaban had to personally request Mukesh to save Anil from going to jail. This moment was a shock to the world, but for Anil Ambani, it was only the beginning of a downfall so dramatic that it could easily be the script of a Bollywood movie. But was it only his mistakes, or was someone actually trying to destroy him? Let's rewind to 2008. At that time, Anil Ambani was the sixth richest man in the world. His wealth had touched $42 billion greater than even Mukesh Ambani's fortune. Fast forward 16 years to 2024, and that same man has been reduced to nothing. Debtors are chasing him, court cases are piling up, and SEBI has banned him from the markets for the next 5 years. The question is, how did a billionaire empire collapse into dust? To find the answer, we must go back to where it all began with their father, Dhirubhai Ambani. Dhirubhai Ambani's story itself is legendary. From being a gas station attendant in Yemen, he rose to become India's biggest business tycoon. By the mid-1980s, Reliance had become a name every Indian household knew. But in February 1986, Dhirubhai suffered a stroke that paralyzed his right hand, and slowly, he began handing over the empire to his sons Mukesh and Anil. Mukesh, the introvert, was responsible for operations. He was the man who could set up mega projects on time and within budget. Anil, the extrovert, became the public face, managing relationships with politicians, bureaucrats, the media, and international investors. Together, the brothers were seen as unstoppable. But family dynamics had already planted the seeds of conflict. In 1991, Dhirubhai officially made Mukesh the vice chairman of Reliance, while Anil remained joint managing director. It was a clear sign that Mukesh was being groomed for leadership. On top of that, Anil's decision to marry Tina Munam, a glamorous Bollywood star, created deep rifts. Tina had been a Miss India, acted in hit films, and was seen as too modern for the conservative Ambani family. Dhirubhai strongly opposed the marriage and even used his influence to orchestrate an aid raid on Tina's home. Despite the humiliation, Anil stood firm. He threatened to leave the family if his marriage was not accepted. After dramatic confrontations, Dhirubhai finally gave in, and Anil married Tina in 1991, but from then on, Tina was seen as an outsider, while Mukesh's wife Nita was considered the real daughter-in-law of the Ambani household. This difference played a silent but powerful role in how the brothers were treated within the family. As years passed, Mukesh kept consolidating his power in Reliance. He surrounded himself with loyalists like Manoj Modi and Anand Jain. When Reliance entered the telecom sector with Reliance Infocom, Mukesh structured ownership in a way that clearly sidelined Anil. This was a huge blow, since Anil had always believed his strength was in dealing with politicians and fund managers. By 1999, the two brothers were openly divided into factions pro-Mukesh and pro-Anil. Dhirubhai, instead of dividing the empire, tried to merge companies, thinking it would force them to work together. But fate had other plans. In July 2002, Dhirubhai Ambani passed away without leaving a will. From that moment, the simmering rivalry erupted into a full-blown war. Anil accused Mukesh of using Reliance Industries to fund his personal telecom venture, while Mukesh restricted Anil's financial powers. Their fights spilled into the media. Anil's closeness with politicians like Amar Singh and Mulayam Singh Yadav worried Mukesh, who believed such favoritism would damage Reliance's image. Things got worse when Anil entered politics and became a Rajya Sabha MP with the help of the Samajwadi Party, then an opposition force. Mukesh was furious. The cracks widened when Anil announced a massive gas-based power project in Dadri, claiming gas would come from Reliance's own Krishna Godavari Basin fields. Mukesh believed Anil had forced this project only to please his political friends. The stage was set for a bitter showdown. In 2004, Mukesh publicly admitted at a seminar that there were ownership issues within Reliance. This shocking revelation confirmed the feud. Over the next year, the battle exploded. Anil leveraged media to portray Mukesh as greedy and controlling. Mukesh, on the other hand, painted Anil as reckless and politically compromised. The fight reached such heights that India's finance minister and even Prime Minister Manmohan Singh had to intervene. Finally, in 2005, under the mediation of ICICI Bank's KV Kamath and their mother Kokalaban, the empire was split. Mukesh retained Reliance Industries and the oil, gas, and petrochemical businesses. Anil walked away with Reliance Infocom, Reliance Energy, and Reliance Capital. Both signed a 10-year non-compete agreement. At the time, it looked like a fair deal. Anil's net worth skyrocketed, touching $45 billion, almost equal to Mukesh. For a brief moment, it seemed like the younger brother had the upper hand, but destiny had a cruel twist in store. In 2008, Anil launched Reliance Power's IPO, which became India's largest ever. But within a day, the share price crashed 20%. Anil suspected Mukesh's hand behind the crash, pointing at Mauritius-based companies linked to him. Around the same time, his grand plan to merge Reliance Communications with South Africa's MTN also collapsed because Mukesh blocked it, citing their agreement. These blows were devastating, but what followed next would shake Anil to the core: the infamous gas wars. According to the family settlement, Mukesh controlled gas exploration while Anil controlled power generation. Anil needed gas for his Dadri plant, and Mukesh had promised to supply it at $2.34 per unit for 17 years. But the Petroleum Ministry intervened, declaring natural gas a national resource, and set the price at $4.21, almost double. Anil cried foul, accusing the government of siding with Mukesh. The matter went to court. In 2009, the Bombay High Court ruled in Anil's favor, but Mukesh challenged it in the Supreme Court. In 2010, the verdict shattered. Anil Gas was ruled to be a national asset, and Mukesh walked away as the winner. Billions slipped from Anil's hands overnight. As if that wasn't enough, a shocking incident added a sinister twist. During maintenance, Anil's helicopter was found with stones and pebbles deliberately stuffed inside the fuel tank. Had it flown, it would have crashed. Soon after, the technician who discovered this was found dead under mysterious circumstances. Was it sabotage? Was someone trying to eliminate Anil? Rumors flew wild, but no clear answers ever came. By then, Anil's empire was already bleeding. His telecom company, Reliance Communications, was trapped in debt. The global shift from 2G to 3G demanded billions in fresh investment. Meanwhile, Mukesh was silently preparing to launch 4G with Reliance Jio. The irony was that when Mukesh had first chosen CDMA technology, it turned out to be a mistake, since it was incompatible with 4G. But it was Anil who inherited that blunder. He now had to replace millions of SIM cards and invest heavily, which his debt-ridden company cannot afford. By 2016, Reliance Communications had fallen to fourth place, crushed under debts of over 40,000 crores. And then Mukesh Ambani launched Jio, offering free 4G data, voice, and video. The impact was catastrophic. Anil's telecom dream collapsed almost overnight. In desperation, Anil tried mergers with Aircel and Canadian company Brookfield. Both deals failed. In 2017, Reliance Communications shut down its 2G and 3G business. Creditors hounded Anil. Ericsson dragged him to the Supreme Court over unpaid dues. By 2019, the court threatened to jail him for contempt unless he paid 550 crores. And in a scene straight out of a family drama, Kokalaban once again intervened, requesting Mukesh to save his brother. Mukesh paid the dues, keeping Anil out of jail. The sight of India's richest man bailing out his bankrupt brother became symbolic of just how far Anil had fallen. But the nightmare didn't end there. His companies had accumulated debt worth a staggering 172,000 crores. Many of his power projects were stuck without gas supplies or permissions. Reliance Entertainment had to sell big cinemas. Reliance Infrastructure sold its power distribution in Mumbai to Gautam Adani just to repay loans. Even Chinese banks dragged him to a London court over unpaid billion-dollar loans, where Anil claimed his net worth was zero. SEBI later banned him from being a director in any listed company, accusing him of diverting funds. Today, Anil Ambani has disappeared from public life. Reports say he has turned spiritual, spending time in prayer and reflection. Friends describe him as a man who has given up on material wealth, though he still hopes for a miracle comeback. But realistically, that seems almost impossible. Friends, if you're watching this story till now, I want to pause and ask you something. Stories like these take weeks of research, connecting dots from news reports, books, and court documents. If you want to keep watching such deeply researched stories, make sure to subscribe right now and turn on notifications. Because the next video I'm preparing will blow your mind even more than this one. Now, what is the biggest lesson from the Ambani brothers saga? To me, it is this: no matter how much money you have, no matter how powerful you become, wealth cannot heal broken family ties. Ego and pride can destroy even the richest empire. Imagine if Mukesh and Anil had worked together instead of fighting. The Ambani family might have become the most powerful business dynasty in the world. Instead, one brother soared to unimaginable heights, while the other lost everything. Truly, if a person is poor at heart, all the wealth in the world will never be enough. What do you think? Was Anil Ambani destroyed by his own decisions, or was he the victim of his brother's power play? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.